All right, guys. So, guys have probably heard James Harden is officially with the Brooklyn Nets. That's big news right there, just because you got KD, Kyrie in one team, and then you have what's it called, the Houston Rockets, getting a ton of assets, a ton of first round picks right there, eight in total, really. But it really had to come down to a four team deal, just because Houston wanted a King's ransom, and you guys got it. You guys got it. Everything had transpired really with that game that happened on Tuesday. Oh, was it Tuesday? Yeah, well, it was Tuesday when the Rockets were facing the Lakers. James Harden looked like he didn't want to be there, and then Boogie Cousins ended up coming out and saying, "Hey, the disrespect didn't happen during in this interview. Happened way before when he didn't want to show up," which is true. Look, I mean, James Harden really showed that he didn't want to be there. And I gotta say, this is a problem with the NBA. The NBA has this problem where they give their players so much leverage, so much power, where they can just say, "Hey, I don't want to be here," and then next day they're out of there. And I have a big problem with that, just because it's like you're allowing the I forgot the term of it. I think is what the prisoners run the asylum, and that's not how it should be. I mean, the players, what's it called? They get paid for a reason to play and perform. All right, but these I feel like the owners, the GMs should be running the show as opposed to the players. And for James Harden to go out there in that interview on Tuesday after the game, saying that the problems can't be fixed, he pretty much demanded a public trade right there. And then for him to get traded the next day to Brooklyn, nah, it doesn't sit well. Doesn't sit well with me. I mean, look, I'm happy. I like the Brooklyn Nets. I like Kyrie, which that's a different story. Um, yeah, I really like KD, but all three of them together. I mean, it has me thinking. What's it called? KD really does not need the ball at all. He does not need the ball at all to make plays happen. I mean, this guy is very, very, very efficient. Kyrie Irving and then James Harden, on the other hand, they need the ball to make things work. They're not great defenders. All right, KD is clearly the best defender out of the three, but I gotta say, I mean, like, this seemed like this was an insurance policy, a very expensive insurance policy, that's in case of Kyrie Irving, disappearing again. Now there are reports that he might play tomorrow, that he might not play tomorrow, but that he's coming back onto the team, and that's great and all. But I want to see how this thing works. I don't see the Brooklyn Nets winning a title this year. Unfortunately, I do see the Lakers winning back-to-back titles. Anthony Davis and LeBron James, look like they're, on the quest of getting back-to-back rings for the city of LA. And I just think that it's gonna take maybe a year for the Brooklyn Nets to build some continuity with one another to actually establish rapport for them to win a title. And I think with the brilliance of a James Harden and a Kevin Durant, I think they'll be able to get it done. If not, then this is gonna be viewed as a complete bust. But it took four teams in order for this trade to happen. So Houston wanted a King's ransom, they got it. The Brooklyn Nets needed to move pieces around in order to make things work, so they found not one but two dancing partners to this mix. So the Indiana Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers decided to partake in this trade, and so look, this ended up happening. So you have Rodions Kurucs, you have Dante Exum, and you had what's it called? Was it Dante Exum and Victor Oladipo going to the Houston Rockets, as well as four first round unprotected picks uh, of Brooklyn's going to Houston. And since the NBA does not allow you to trade consecutive first round picks in consecutive years, you have to do it every other year. So in the years that they're not trading their first round pick over to Houston, that means that they're going to be swapping picks. So for whatever reason, the Houston Rockets have a better record than the Brooklyn Nets. Houston is able to grab Brooklyn's pick and swap it, because Brooklyn would have a higher pick as opposed to Houston. So I think that's pretty crazy. I mean, the Houston Rockets are pretty much now in charge of the Brooklyn Nets, long-term future for the next 8 years. So I think the Brooklyn Nets really need to walk out as winners. The Indiana Pacers get Caris LaVert and a second-round pick, and you have the Cleveland Cavaliers getting Taurean Prince and Josh Josh Allen. No, I'm sorry, not Josh Allen, Jarret Allen. Josh Allen plays for the Buffalo Bills. But yeah, so I think it's very, 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 very crazy trade. I love this for Caris LaVert. Caris LaVert is not going to be in the mess that is Houston. He's going to be in Indiana, so he's going to still play in the Eastern Conference. Jarret Allen, going to Cleveland, causes me a little bit of concern just because you already have Andre Drummond out there. I like Taurean Prince, the fact that he's over there with Jarret Allen. But I don't understand Cleveland's aspect as for why they, are taking in Jarret Allen. Are they going to move Andre Drummond? What are they going to do with him? Jarret Allen is only going to be ascending as opposed to Andre Drummond. We already know what he is capable of and his whole ceiling is as a basketball player. So we'll see with that. But look, the Brooklyn Nets are going to need to win a title within the next 2 years. If they don't win a title this year, they have to win a title by next year. And the reason why I say that is because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant both have opt-out clauses after year 3. They're already on year 2 of their contracts right now. KD did not play last year at all because of the Achilles tear. And you had Kyrie Irving only playing 20 games. All right. And then during the shutdown, he ended up getting shoulder surgery. So that only enhanced the fact that he was not going to be playing, during the bubble. So I feel like Brooklyn, it's, win now. It's put up or shut up at this point. Win now, and, you probably have, Kevin Durant, staying in Brooklyn long term. You don't win at all, I guarantee you Kevin Durant is going to be going on to a different location. But look, they already got James Harden, who is a top 5 player in this game. They got Kevin Durant, who's a top 3 player, in my opinion, in this game. And you have Kyrie Irving. If he decides to come back, he's a top 25 player in this game. I mean, I don't know who's going to take the last shot. Clearly Harden and Durant are the 2 best shooters out of that, that big 3. But a lot of egos, not enough ball for all 3 of them. I'm just very interested to see, is Kyrie going to be able to do stuff without the ball? Is James Harden going to be able to do stuff without the ball? This is not James Harden's team. This is not Kyrie Irving's team. This is Kevin Durant's team, all right? The Brooklyn Nets made sure that forward, Sean Marks made sure that forward, that this is Kevin Durant's team, and whatever Kevin Durant wants, he gets. Kevin Durant vouched for James Harden, so he gets James Harden, all right? I just couldn't imagine James Harden going to Philly just because of you had Tillman Fertitta, his former GM being in Philly. I can't imagine them they were going to trade James Harden to go to Philly just to watch them possibly win a ring. No, I think Fertitta was never going to trade James Harden to Philly. So Kevin Durant got what he wanted. Kyrie Irving got what they pretty much got what he wanted. All right. So as of right now, the potential starting lineup for the Brooklyn Nets are going to look as this: Kyrie Irving at the number 1, James Harden at the 2, Joe Harris at the 3, Durant at the 4, and DeAndre Jordan at the 5. Look, I mean, the Brooklyn Nets at this point, it's finals or bust. They got to make the finals. They can't lose to Milwaukee. They can't lose to Miami. They can't lose to Boston. They can't lose to Toronto or Philly. All right? If they lose to any of those teams, failure automatically. They lose to a team outside the team called the Los Angeles Lakers, it's a failure. If they lose to the Lakers, there's no shame in that whatsoever. LeBron's a 4-time champ. But they got to win a ring by next year. They don't win a ring by next year, don't be surprised if that big 3, crumbles down. All right, guys. Until then, thank you for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and for you guys to see more videos just like this. All right, guys. Peace, guys. And I'll see you guys next time.